All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to work on adding mixed numbers. The objective today, we will all learn how to add mixed numbers. We will also involve regrouping, simplifying, and with like and unlike denominators. Here we go. First, we have a problem. Find the sum of the two lengths of string. As you can see, I have them on the two different rulers, and this is a problem that we're going to be able to solve by adding the mixed numbers that are represented by each string in the end. First, we're going to look at some of our problems. Here we have what appears to be 1/4 plus 1/8. Now, how would we solve this problem normally? The first thing we would do is to come up with a common denominator. So we're looking for a common multiple between 4 and 8. And the common multiple is 8. Since 1/8 already has a denominator of 8, we're just going to keep it the same. Since 1/4, the 4 will need to be multiplied by 2 to get that common denominator of 8. So we want to do the same thing to our top number. That way it's an equivalent fraction. And we get 2/8. Now when adding these, we would simply add the numerator here plus the numerator here, and we would have 3/8. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? When you have a mixed number like the one we see here, there is no difference other than the fact that we need to also add the whole numbers. So 2 plus 1 is 3. My answer would be 3 and 3/8. Now let's look at the other one. This other problem is when we already have a common denominator. So what we'll need to do is add the two numerators here. 5 plus 3 over 6, which we know is equal to 8/6. But that's an improper fraction. So we will have to figure out what 8 divided by 6 is and convert it into a mixed number. 6 goes into 8 one time. When we subtract, we have 2 left over. So we have 1 and 2 left over out of 6 parts. So it'd be 1 and 2/6, which can still be simplified. We can divide both of these by 2, and that leaves us with 1/3. So our actual answer would be 1 and 1/3 for this problem. Erase that and put up 1 and 1/3. That's my simplified answer. I'm going to erase this as well and put 1 and 1/3. But now we have whole numbers still. When I add these together, I get 7. But I still have 1 and 1/3. I can't say 7 plus 1 and 1/3. So what I will have to do is add them together. 7 plus 1 is 8, and then we have 1/3 more. So our final answer would be 8 and 1/3. Now let's look at some models for these problems that we just worked on here. We'll put this bar out to the side and move this one out to the side. The first problem said 2 and 1/4 plus 1 and 1/8. So here you can see I have 2 and 1/4 of a circle. And here I have 1 and 1/8. If I combine these or add them together, I now have 3. And if I made this into a complete circle, we could see that that would be fourths. Excuse my drawing, it's not perfect. And this would be eighths. And now we can see we have 1, 2, 3 eighths. So 3 and 3/8. On our other problem over here, 5 and 5/6 up here, plus 2 and 3/6. Let's look at the model. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5/6. when we add that 2 and 3 6, you can see what we'll do is we will move one of these over to this area to make it a whole. So now we have 1 whole, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we still have 2 6 remaining. But if I actually take those 2 6 and I rotate one of them and put it together, it would make 1/3 of a circle. I'm going to try to finish off this circle, and your thirds would look something like this. So it would be 1/3, and that's where we got 8 and 1/3. Here's another challenge problem. See if anybody can solve this one. Find the perimeter of this scalene triangle. Hint: perimeter is the sum of all sides. Go ahead and try to solve this one on your own. All right, how did you do? First thing, you should line all of your mixed numbers up and convert to a common denominator. Here you can see we converted 1/4 to 2/8. We converted 3/8 to 3/8. It stayed the same since it already had a common denominator, and 1/2 became 4/8. Next, we have our fraction portion where we add the numerators, and we add the whole numbers. Then we're going to bring this 9 over here, and after we simplify the fraction to 9/8, we'll bring that over here. Since the numerator is still greater than the denominator, we have to change it into a mixed number. That mixed number becomes 1 and 1/8, and when we add that to 9, we get 10 and 1/8 units. How'd you do? All right, let's move on to the next problem. Here's another challenge problem for you. How much time was spent doing homework? See if you can use the chart to solve this problem. I should have put on Monday and Tuesday. How much time was spent doing homework? And how much time was spent on games? Maybe you can even challenge yourself to find out how much more time was spent on one of the activities and which activity had that much more time spent on it. Here are some more practice problems. Take a few moments to see if you can solve this problem. Pause the screen, try to solve them, and then check your answers. Okay, let's see how you did. 5 plus 3 is 8, and the fraction comes down. 2 plus 1 is 3, and the fraction comes down. 3 plus 1 is 4, and the fraction comes down. Next, we have a few more practice problems, some with like denominators and some with different denominators. Go ahead and see if you can solve these problems. Pause the screen and then check your work. Here we have 5 and 12/9, which is an improper fraction, so that would actually become 1 and 1/3. This would. And when we add 5 plus 1 and 1/3, we get 6 and 1/3. Over here, we have 6. A half would actually become 2/4, and 1/4 plus 2/4 is 3/4. All right, now we're back to that original problem. See if you can figure out what it is. If you look at this measurement here, you could actually draw a little box and try to break it down into a fraction. And right here we can see is the halfway mark. Here are the fourths. And it appears we do have 1/4. 1 out of 2, 3, 4. So we have 2 and 1/4 inches. And we're going to add that to this one. So again, if we break it down into a bar, whoops. Here we go. We have the halfway mark. That's the bigger mark. And then the other larger marks would be 1/4 of the way. And then those next marks would be an eighth of the way. Alright, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1/8. 1 and 1/8. And when you add those together, you should get, let's see, I'll just put them together. And your answer should be, it looks like 3 and 3/8. Simply put the strings together. See if you can solve that one mathematically, though. All right, well, I hope this helped you out. And just remember, math will make your light shine bright. Have a great day.